dark. There we are.
Welcome to We're All Gonna Die Wednesday.
Sorry.
Oh, were you too close to the telephone?
No, I forgot to turn my volume off.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
will go straight outside.
Bear from the internet, and this is Lissa, who doesn't know how cell phones work.
Nope,
But
not today.
That's okay.
It's okay.
Nostradamus, 5x5. Appreciate you. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Hunter Seeker's here. What's up? Shalom. Listen. If you would do us a favor, please share the show. That's the only way the channel grows. Also, welcome. There's lots of new people again. It's super interesting that the YouTube went and testified in front of Congress that, yeah, okay, fine, we were silencing conservative voices for only 5 years, though. And then literally the day that they did that, our channel started growing again.
Wow.
It's almost like I've been saying, hey, we've been shadow banned. But in any event, why cry over spilled milk? Here we are. Do us a favor, if you find some value in what we do here today, please share it with somebody you love. We're also going to try and be respectful of your time. We're going to cover some news of the day. The title is Prepping for World War III. I don't use that as a clickbait title. I use that because I think that is imminent with a high likelihood, I'd say within the next 1.5 to 3 years, potentially sooner. The timelines can always fluctuate. They always do. But based upon the conversations, overt and covert, public and private conversations that I've been having within the last 3 or 4 weeks, suffice it to say that I have taken a second and a third look at my preps and my plans, and I am encouraging everybody else to do the same for the preservation of life, not out of fear. So, that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. You'll note that the first thing that's up on the screen, I was just zooming in with my homegirl here on random islands throughout the Pacific, and I'm going to zoom in even further. I want you boys and girls to just note the color of the roofs here. This is something that we have discussed previously, and I want you to think back to Maui, and I want you to think what didn't burn, and then I want you to note the color of the roofs here. And then on your own time, what you can do, if you so choose, is pull up Google Earth, and then get yourself out here in the Pacific Ocean. It's this giant body of water in between Asia and the west coast of the Estados Unidos, the United States of America. Pick an island, zoom in, and just from an image intelligence standpoint, look at a couple of things. How many runways do they have, and what color are the roofs? And see if you can begin to correlate any data there. Okay? Just throwing that out there. We've talked previously. This is open source, I believe. China. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, maybe not. Okay.
You can scroll on your own time.
You can scroll on your own time.
You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out. So, in any event, Iran has dismissed Israel's missile concern as an imaginary threat. I don't know if you heard.
So imaginary.
Bibi. Now, I said, hey, what do you want to talk about this morning? And you were like, not Israel. I'm so over it. Cool.
And here we are. I said chickens, okay? We were going to talk about chickens.
We can talk about chickens.
We don't need to talk about chickens.
We'll talk about chickens.
Get more chickens.
I saw recently a gentleman had a hen that was flightless, could not fly.
Yeah.
And he strapped an FPV drone to her back. And the chicken took off with the drone. It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Chickens are great stabilizers if you attach GoPros to them because their little heads don't move. Move them. Yep.
I've seen that.
Yep.
Iran on Tuesday dismissed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's warnings. Netanyahu, by the way, is Hebrew for provided by God or gift of God.
Wow.
Now, let's just... Barry, you use Google so much. Why? Don't you know they're not trustworthy? Yeah, I'm super aware.
But neither is anybody else.
So.
Happy birthday, Eric.
Netanyahu, real name. His father, Benzion Milikowski, changed the family name to Netanyahu after immigrating to mandatory Palestine from Poland in the 1920s. Okay. Where did he immigrate from?
Poland.
What's his real name?
Mike Wazowski.
Milikowski. A Polish name. Lots of Z's in case. That's how you know it's Polish. So just bringing that up. So they adopted the name God has given Netanyahu. Cool. Iran on Tuesday dismissed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's warnings over its missile program as fabricated after he alleged the Islamic Republic was developing rockets capable of reaching U.S. cities. In an interview with U.S. political commentator Ben Shapiro,
Dun, dun, dun.
not trustworthy, released on Monday, Netanyahu said Iran is developing now intercontinental ballistic missiles for an 8,000 kilometer range. What does that mean? They had another 3,000 kilometers, and they've got under their guns New York City and target Washington, Boston, Miami, Mar-a-Lago. Okay, so this is the same guy, Netanyahu, that provided the credible intel after 9/11 that we needed to target Iraq and Iran. So just keep that in your pipe. I don't trust this guy as far as I can throw him. And I could probably throw him fairly far.
Probably.
So, Bibi is saying, hey, Iran now has weapons that, given a little bit of time, they could target the United States of America. All of a sudden, there's an imminent threat. At the same time as what? That they're working on a ceasefire that's probably not going to happen. Every time this guy becomes wildly unpopular, or there's a political crisis at home, there's another imminent threat. There's another credible intel report. There's another war that has to happen. And it doesn't take a genius to look at this strategically and go, all right, Bibi wants Iran wiped off the face of the earth. So if we talk about, hey, Iran could target the United States, then the United States will hit Iran, and then the United States will blow up Iran for us. Then Israel doesn't have to spend any of its money or any of its blood. They don't have to take any of the heat geopolitically for bombing Iran, blah, 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 blah. Okay? At the same time that there's supposed to be a Middle East agreement for peace.
Heard that before.
Now, one of the things that I was talking about Monday night. Today's Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday. Yes, Monday.
Monday night. A day is like 1,000 years unto the Lord, right?
A day is like 1,000 years in entrepreneurship, too.
Yes, also that. Creating is very intense. Let's put it that way. And so, therefore, he rested on the seventh, right? Yep. Thus the command, the fourth command, 6 days you shall labor, the seventh is a Sabbath of rest. And so, if a day is like 1,000 years unto the Lord, 6 days you do work, you create, that's 6,000 years, right? Okay, so we're going to do some quick math together. 6,000 years, okay, 6,000 years divided by 28. Why 28? Let me go ahead and just put it up on the screen for you. Google. Ecclesiastes 3. Boom. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. That's 28 seasons per Ecclesiastes 3. So if we take 6,000 years and we divide by 28, you get each season is approximately 214.3 years. Okay. 214.3. Now, we're going to take 6,000 minus 214.3, and we get 5785.7. Okay, hang with me here. We're going somewhere. Go back over here to Google. What is the Hebrew year? The current Hebrew year is 5,786, which began at sunset on September 22nd. So if you've been feeling like, man, we've like turned a corner, something's a little bit different, I can't quite explain it. Did the timeline slip? What's up? There's a changing of the seasons going on right now. And the last season, we have moved from a time of war to a time of peace. And the reason I bring this up is many people, many Christians, those that aren't maybe as studied in their Bible as they should be, when they hear peace, they think this is great. Peace on earth, goodwill towards men, everything's going to be hunky-dory. Negative. The conflict that we will see in the time of peace, now this is me speaking on this, I'm not preaching or teaching, I'm just bringing this to you, my opinion. The conflict that we see in the time of peace will exceed that we have seen in the time of war. Because, let's go back to Bible Gateway real quick. By the way, if you're not a believer, you're allowed to hang out here too. And now I remember what it was that I was going to talk about that I had forgotten.
It only took us an hour, guys.
Okay. So, you're allowed to hang out here, whether you believe or not, but understand that we absolutely believe. And that informs our worldview.
Which might help your worldview too. So I would hang around, even if you don't, because it might be helpful.
So Revelation 19, beginning at verse 11. I saw heaven standing open, and there before me was a white horse, whose rider is called Faithful and True. With justice he judges and wages war. His eyes are like a blazing fire, and on his head are many crowds, and he has a name written on him that no one knows but himself. He's dressed in a robe dipped in blood, and his name is the Word of God. The armies of heaven were following him, riding on white horses, dressed in fine linen, white and clean. Coming out of his mouth is a sharp sword with which to strike down the nations. He will rule them with an iron scepter. He treads the winepress of the fury of the wrath of God Almighty, El Shaddai. On his robe and on his thigh he has this name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, who cried in a loud voice to all the birds flying in midair, Come, gather together for the great supper of God, of the Lamb, so that you may eat the flesh of kings, generals, and the mighty, of horses and their riders, and the flesh of all people, free and slave, great and small. Then I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to wage war against the rider on the horse and his army. But the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet who had performed the signs on its behalf. With these signs he had deluded those who had received the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. The two of them were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur, and the rest were killed with the sword coming out of the mouth of the rider on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. Biblical peace is not made through treaties. Biblical peace is made through superior firepower. Okay? So, this time of peace that we're entering into, I believe the conflict will be even greater than it has been now. Which brings us to the title of the show, Prepping for World War III. Alright, so now we've set the basis, set the tone there. I remembered Israel geofencing churches.
Oh, geofencing.
S2 Underground reported on this yesterday. Did a phenomenal job at this. And so let's give credit where credit is due. On The Wire yesterday, 7 October 25, S2 broke this news. And So according to filings under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs hired a firm, Show Faith by Works, for up to $4.1 million to launch the campaign in the U.S. The firm's strategy included defining geofences, virtual boundaries around major churches and Christian colleges in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado, and Texas during worship times, to deliver targeted ads with advertisements featuring pro-Israel and anti-Palestinian messaging, as well as a mobile October 7th experience exhibit that is planned to tour church parking lots and campuses. Now, here's the issue that I want to bring up. So all this is called geospatial data. TGBG Gaming, thank you for reading Revelation out loud. Too many pastors are afraid to do it. Oh, you're welcome, bro. I've read all of the book of Revelation and every word of the New Testament on camera already. I'll watch the Bible playlists.
The Revelation series is super good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Here's why I bring up geofencing. All this geospatial data exists already. It's out there. And everybody is carrying around their tracking device, their existential crisis rectangle, in their pockets. When you geofence an area, let's say your church, wherever you go to church, you literally draw a box on a map around that church, and then every device that enters that box, that individual device data, MAC address, SSID, IP addresses for all the Wi-Fi connected stuff, Bluetooth, all that's captured.
And this is completely legal.
Completely legal. And now you can be targeted. Israel is targeting churches with ads that are pro-Israel, anti-Palestine, which they can do. However, they now have the data, they have the address of that device, and can follow that device anywhere. And so you can establish a baseline pattern of life. Where do people live? Where do they work? Where do they buy groceries? Where do they shop? Where do their kids go to school? Blah, 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 for each individual device. I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. So everything's possible, not everything's plausible. But let's just connect some dots here. You got Sarah Adams that has been talking about, I can never remember her actual name, Sarah Adams has been talking about super bad, the next 9/11 attack. And she may well be correct. Right now, that is single source reporting and has been for years that she's been talking about it. Now, at the same time, I understand the people that work with her and for her can't come out and corroborate because clearances, top secret stuff, sensitive stuff, I get it. But it's still single source reporting. I have it on very good authority that the attacks on places of worship are just beginning. Okay? We also know that Israel is very good with cellular devices. Very good with cellular devices. They've proven this by targeting Hamas leadership with their cell phones and their pagers and their radios. Okay, cool. Bibi Netanyahu 2 weeks ago was in front of the world stage holding a phone, saying, if you're holding a phone in your hand, you're holding a piece of Israel. We make the tech that makes these things possible. Okay, cool. Now Israel is collecting geofenced individual targeting data right now for ad campaigns. But it's the same, you can target people one way or the other, whether it's ads or anything else, because people carry around their existential crisis rectangles. So Sarah Adams talking about another 9/11. There's a lot of theories, and I think they hold a lot of credence about how exactly 9/11 actually went down the first time. There's also, incredibly underreported because nobody says the quiet part out loud, the fact that the highest levels of leadership during the global war on terror in ISIS, which is the Islamic State in Syria, which per 1984 reporting in newspapers in Israel is actually Israeli State Intelligence Service. That's the first time you find the acronym ISIS. That the top leadership of ISIS during GWAT was actually embedded Israeli Mossad, which is why the targeting was so good on certain individuals and why the leadership could never be targeted, because they weren't actually supposed to get blowed up in the first place. And so we end up half world away fighting a war with a whole bunch of people that had nothing to do with two towers falling down in the first place. Mm-hmm. So it makes me very uncomfortable that Israel is geofencing places of worship, churches in the United States of America, which they can do. It's perfectly legal to do. Mm-hmm. But I don't like it one bit, especially when now you take that and add to that, oh yeah, 9/11 2.0 is coming. Makes me a little concerned. Mm-hmm. And, well, what does that have to do with World War III? Because it will be everything, everywhere, all at once. Everything will go hot at the same time, because that's the only way I can see conceivably of taking the United States out. Because if we have to fight here at home at the same time that we have multiple wars going on abroad, energy and people are the two primary resources that one needs to be able to maintain combat power. Well, degrade us at home at the same time of attacking us abroad, all of a sudden we don't have energy and people. We lose our two main resources, which may be, hypothetically, why we're seeing National Guard pre-positioned in certain places across the United States of America. Mm-hmm. Now, there's not nearly enough of them, and they're in the cities, not the countryside. But when we look at combat power, where can we put people strategically? So I pay particular attention to where National Guard is being deployed. And the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, that's on the strategic level, not the tactical level. They don't really care about people protesting on the ground. They care about where their funding is coming from and why, because it's an attempt at toppling the United States of America. But they can use the tactical Antifa, boots on the ground, as cover for action to forward deploy assets to deal with Antifa, which is now designated as a terrorist organization, to go ahead and move troops around the country as needed as a bulwark against actual civil unrest and actual bad actors on American soil, because everything, everywhere, all at once. Thoughts?
Well, the cities are the places that are going to have the problems anyway, because, like, yes, moving to cities, not the countryside, but problems, whether they're domestic or foreign bad actors or domestic cells that have been activated by foreign bad actors, all of that is more likely to happen in population dense areas. We've been talking about this. You've been talking about this for 8 years. Mm-hmm. Like, cities are not your friend. Downtown is not your friend. Highly populated areas, densely populated events are not your friend. And, like, we're not a target in the middle of nowhere for the most part. Like, my house is the bottom of their priority list. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking at places that are already very volatile, very susceptible to narrative, very easy to spin up, like Portland. Mm-hmm. Everybody's ready to be angry there. Like, that we've dropped, like, little firecrackers for 5 years, and every time someone, like those little poppers that you throw on the ground on 4th of July, like, that's all it takes to spin them up. You don't have to put on a big show, you don't have to blow anything up. It's just like, oh, look, something to be mad at, let's be mad at that. Like, there's a lot of places who are already very predisposed to that behavior, and you see them a lot more on the West Coast and the East Coast than you do through the center of America, but not exclusively. Like, Chicago's on fire right now. Mm-hmm. It just is.
I would encourage you, if you're new to all of this, watch the Prepper Classroom playlist here on this channel, Bear Independent YouTube channel. Prepper Classroom playlist. Everything's broken down Barney style, whiteboard. You can take notes as you go along on the basics of preparedness. I also recorded about a level 301, maybe even a 401 video on the way into the office this morning.
Sweet.
That I'll post later today or tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Yep.
You can totally consume that passively too. If you're not in a position where you have a good chunk of time to sit down, just put it on the background and play it over and over, and it'll stick.
And also, for everybody who's on Patreon, which $10 a month. Oh my gosh, Bear.
Do it.
Do it. It's just, my goal is always to provide an overwhelming amount of value.
I have direct access to him whenever I want it, and I'm still on Patreon.
Appreciate that.
So go do the things.
But for everybody who's on Patreon, the video that posted yesterday of my talk at KSL, Kentucky Sustainable Living, you should all the way watch that. It's not regurgitated information about preparedness and community. It's actually a new talk based upon new information that builds upon everything else that I've said. And so if you haven't watched that yet, you should go watch that talk. We talk quite a bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and meeting those needs from a preparedness standpoint with the element of community and why that's important. And if you don't have a community yet, if you don't have people yet, what you can do about that. Somebody left a comment on X. They said, hey, I guess I'm just doomed to die by myself because I'm antisocial. And I was like, I have plenty of antisocial people that are in my tribe. And on occasion, they do something really difficult, which is hang out.
With real people.
And it's okay. It's okay if you're super introverted. That's okay. I have at least as many introverts as I do extroverts, and some of them damn near crippling introversion, and they still come and hang out, and we love them for it. And it's really understanding that everybody has a people meter, and some people can people all day, every day, and some people can only people one time a month for an hour or two.
Yep.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Bless you, Whoopi. Thank you. So moving along, BB says, Iran's going to blow us up. I doubt that significantly. I think that this is just cover for action. And there's one of two things going on here, and in my mind, and there's possibly dozens of things. The first is BB wants us to blow up Iran, and therefore he's floating this line so that we will go do that. The second is we want to blow up Iran, and therefore BB is floating this line in order to give us cover for action to go blow up Iran. I do not see Iran as an existential threat. Now, Trump and BB have access to information far more pertinent than I do. But based upon everything that I can see, I don't see them as an existential threat. But somebody wants Iran blowed the hell up, as if we haven't already done that. Now, why would we want to blow up Iran? 1/7 of Russia's GDP is arms trade to Iran. Out of Iran, you get all these little Islamic jihadist proxy groups, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, IRGC, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, etc., then push out from there. Iran does make sense as a strategic target if they have the capacity to continue to develop and export weapons. Now, Iranian Shahed drones are showing up all around the world, in China, in Ukraine, being used by Russia, North Korea, etc. But then we also have to look at bad actors' boots on the ground. We definitely shouldn't talk about how the Ministry of Defense in Britain confirmed through eyewitness accounts, first-hand intelligence, has been deploying 20-foot CR land containers, Connex boxes, full of weapons and body armor and nods and explosives into Muslim communities all around the UK. Definitely don't talk about that.
Don't talk about
it's
that.
not that the UK has been overrun with immigrants that are being enabled to drain the pre-existing population of their resources and their rights for a violent, soon-to-be violent overthrow of the UK by the invaders. Same thing up in Scandinavia, same thing in Central Europe in many areas. You see how many times has Germany been attacked? Now beginning to get a foothold in places like Dearborn, Michigan, and Houston, Texas, and others here in the United States of America. And there's all these different courses of action. We know the Chinese, right? I live in Oklahoma. There's lots of grow operations, legalized grow operations here in the United States of America and in Oklahoma.
And lots of illegal ones, too.
And I do not support these things being here because not only do they don't just grow weed, they also traffic people, they also traffic narcotics, they also traffic weapons. And what do they do with this above ground revenue, this over revenue, above the threshold of detection that they produce. They have American citizens, Chinese American citizens, that for the last 20, 30 years, confirmed, have been stockpiling. They buy 2 to 4 ARs a year, and they have been for 20 years. And they buy 10 to 20,000 rounds of ammo every year for the last 10 to 20 years. For what? For what? Okay, so everything at the same time, all at once. And I want you guys and girls to think about that when you're prepping for World War III. What is that going to look like? It's not going to be just over there, because we can take them over there. We probably can't take them over there and here at the same time. They're already here, and they've been prepping for this for a long, long time, decades. Okay? So like I said, this has caused me to reevaluate a second and a third time my preps and my plans. And there's tons of things that I know that I cannot tell you, because then I would have to betray sources. I'd have to violate people's trust. I also don't feel like saying, well, just take me at my word. Just trust me. Just trust me. So I'm giving you breadcrumbs here that on your own time you can go do a little bit of research and pull these threads yourself. But suffice to say, it ain't going to just be international conflict based upon everything that I know and everything that I've been told. Also, I'll say again, please share the show with somebody you love. I would deeply appreciate that. Should we take a commercial break? You want to take a commercial break?
Which commercial are we doing?
Are you ready?
Sure.
All right, this commercial break brought to you by CalebHouse.org. Oh, you want to do Refuge?
Oh, I don't care. We're doing CalebHouse.org?
Let's do
Go to
Caleb
CalebHouse.org.
Yeah. What does Caleb House do?
Caleb House does juvenile human trafficking restoration, and we also kick bad guys. I build stuff. I don't kick anybody. They haven't let me out of that cage yet.
I feel like if we brought bad guys to you, you could totally kick them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason I'm in the cage.
We have like a meetup spot.
Yeah.
Like you put on like your combat boots. Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever have a goth phase? I knew it. I could tell. I knew you had a goth phase.
It is not photographed.
Was it? Did you go fishnets and black tutu direction?
God, no.
Okay, so you went like what? More black baggy clothing, band shirts,
Yeah.
eyeliner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, combat boots, black skinny jeans.
Heck yeah.
My hair was flaming red.
Nice.
Like bright fire engine red.
Hey.
Yep.
Everybody has their thing.
Yep.
Yep.
I still own all of it. We just dress it down for like wedding photography.
Good for you,
now.
Wolverine. Okay. Anyway, so if we're at the kicking bad guys meetup spot, if you feel like cosplaying goth girl,
I should dress it like I did in high school?
Yeah,
Okay.
those boots are phenomenal
Oh
for kicking
my
people in the head. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
Corcoran jump boots. I was a huge fan of those back in the day. Now Wesco Highliners. But anyway, CalebHouse.org, we kick bad guys in the head and rescue kids.
We do.
And Lissa builds the facilities where we restore these children, which is awesome. Gifted and talented, this one here. She'll never tell you that, but I will. So you have an Amazon wish list going right now?
Yes.
And that link is totally on Patreon.
It's also in the chat.
And it's also totally in the description of the video right now that you're watching.
Yep, that too.
So, and then I'm also going to copy it right now and put it in the chat myself.
Okay.
So, you want to explain to the peeps why the wish list is important?
Yes. So we have two large initiatives
I'm going to
going
get
on
water
right
while
now.
you're doing
Yep.
that. You can stay there. I'll be right back. Do you want water? Do you need water?
Sure. One is a massive donor matching opportunity. So we have a $500,000 donor matching opportunity for 7 more days. And that is incredible. We didn't know that was coming, and so we have accidentally double stacked, and that is absolutely okay, because from my understanding, in-kind donations also qualify for that donor match. So you're helping both directions on this front. If you want to go direct financial contribution, $500,000 donor matching through October 15th.
And I want to bring up strategically, the reason that's important is because we are at a $600K fundraising deficit.
And this will fix that.
And this will fix that. So,
yes. On the Amazon front, the reason that I do Amazon registries a couple times a year is because it allows you to be a lot more intimately involved with what we're doing and actually see what is physically going in the buildings and help to kind of direct and design and see the vision of what we're going for without violating operational security. So I don't do a whole lot of filming. I don't do much in terms of photography on site because it's rather difficult to keep key elements out of photos. And so this lets you see what we're doing, see the color schemes that we're going for, and kind of have a look into where we're at with the project without violating any of that. That said, the thing that we're mostly focusing on with the Amazon list is finishing out the Evergreen Center, which is our white-collar administration building. It has all of our office spaces, conference room, teaching space, storm shelter, industrial kitchen, where we can teach food services, or we can handle large food donations, all those sorts of things. It's going to be a gorgeous building. I have finally decelerated myself enough out of go get it done mode this week to actually sit down and start doing SketchUps of what the finished work is going to look like. And so I spent a good chunk of yesterday actually doing hand-drawn vision boards of what our built-ins are going to look like, what our conference room is going to look like, doing some color selection. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm so excited to be jumping into the finish end of the buildings that we've been putting up this year. We've been pushing really hard to dry them in, make them waterproof so that we can work through the winter. And so it's been a lot of the heavy lifting and the less fun side of things. And we are all the way shifting into what I consider the fun part. So go to Amazon, get some cool stuff, pick out the curtains, pick out kitchenwares, pick out stuff for our play therapy space. There's everything from kitchen sink faucets to shoe storage to, I don't know, it's all of it. Everything to build a house. Yeah, there's some of what I get to do.
yeah, and all the photos are tight specifically for operational security.
Yes. Yeah, so it's difficult to show you everything that we're up to, just because we got to crop a lot of it out. But I promise you, we're busting it. We're working hard.
Well, there's also there are some things that I can share with you. So
Yes.
Stand by. So I'll give you a little bit of a anonymized. What does that mean? We've stripped out the personal data
Yeah.
from this. So there was a little girl, a toddler, who was abducted from her home. Our investigation team later found out the little girl was taken by a man with a history of consuming CSAM, child sexual abuse material, online. Family reached out, desperate, obviously. One of the KH field teams immediately jumped on it. The investigators went to work in 2 different states, gathering leads, coordinating with the family, chasing down every thread of information that could bring her home. Within a day, 30 hours, our team identified the abductor's location at a rental property. That information was coordinated and verified immediately with law enforcement, who moved rapidly to recover the toddler. She was recovered. The abductor was taken in by law enforcement. Today she's safe and back with her family, and her journey of healing has begun. That's what Caleb House does. We can't do it without you, though. and we're $600K in a hole from doing this, from building houses, paving roads, rescuing toddlers. We had another young girl, barely in her teens, living in a home overwhelmed by sexual and substance abuse. She was exposed to harm every day of her life, primarily by her father. When her case came to us, our teams immediately stepped in, working with authorities and extended family, gathered information, built a case for intervention, and advocated for her protection. The outcome not only changed her life, it saved her life. Custody of the girl was secured by a safe and trusted family member, someone able to provide stability, care, and a home where she could begin to heal. So when we do restoration, it's not necessarily at our facilities. Our facilities are for kids that have nowhere to go. And you'll see a lot with children who are trafficked. You'll see people who don't know saying those kids need to be returned to their parents. Not always.
No.
Not always. Oftentimes the parents are the problem. Runaways don't run away for no reason. They run away for a lot of really good reasons. And if they run away, never let your kids run away. You got a 1 in 3 chance of being trafficked. 1 in 3 chance of being trafficked. And so when there are family members to return the kid to, we do. But a lot of the family members are abusing their own children, are producing CSAM, are drug addicts and also selling drugs, are pimping out their children to support their drug habits. They're part of the family is the problem. Not always, but in many cases the family is a problem. And then we had a preteen girl taken by a predator. To make legal and investigative process far more complex than in most cases, this occurred across multiple state lines. When the case reached Caleb House, our team went to work, coordinating with law enforcement, navigating jurisdictional challenges, and gathering the critical details needed to bring her home. By the Father's grace, she was recovered safely and reunited with a trusted family member who could provide the stability she needed. I remember this case, this anonymized case. States away, 24 hours.
That one was fast.
I remember working this case. But everybody busted there. Everything stopped. Everything stopped. Non-stop, non-stop grinding on this. And
because the faster you can get them home, the less damage is done.
And the crazy thing, right? This is how good the Father is. There's a state trooper states away. Not even kind of close. States away. And the Spirit was like, text him. Just let him know. Bolo. Be on the lookout. I'm like, all right.
Okay.
So I texted him. A few hours later, he's like, I got him on the side of the road. What? What? Dude, I got goosies right now.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh? So that's what we get to do. And we don't get to do that without you. And I do want to thank every one of y'all who pours into this ministry. And I also want to tell you, please never give to us if you're not convicted by the Spirit to do so. Because there's not a dime that we have access to that doesn't belong to Dad in the first place. And I don't ever want to come into agreement with somebody that's not in agreement with the Most High. So if the Spirit of the Most High, if the Spirit of God has not convicted you to support Caleb House, please don't. Okay? Because we're going to get what we need it, when we need it, always, forever and ever. Amen. But it's all you awesome boys and girls out there that support what we do that allows this to happen. And I have asked the field teams to begin providing me with more anonymized reports so that I can share those with you, so that you can see the good works that you are participating in, that you are enabling. That it's not just we come on camera and it's like, please, sir, give us more money, ma'am, so that we can have concrete and 2x4s.
And then not show you any of it.
Yeah, because of operational security.
Because we are doing this.
Yeah, it's
and
happening.
It is difficult to share because you don't operational security, yes, but then also personal privacy, right? These kids deserve privacy. That's one of the things that's been taken from them the most. They deserve privacy. Their families deserve privacy. The people who are taking on custody and care of them to rebuild them deserve privacy. My team deserves privacy. I'm the only one you see for really good reasons. And that's because we need the space to be able to emotionally and mentally handle what we're doing. The field team's way more than the construction teams. Like, they need preservation of sanity, and a lot of that starts with privacy. So thank you for believing us and continuing to support us.
Amen. And what a lot of people don't understand is the gravitas to this. The average tenure for somebody working victim services or field team is 2 years.
Yeah.
That's average.
That's about as much as you can take.
Some people, it's one time, and other people, they gut it out and it's 3 or 4 years. But it's on average 2 years, and it's because it's so heavy sometimes. And there's been times standing in my kitchen cooking dinner with my wife, and my phone rings. I've recently told a brother, I was like, hey, I love you. Please don't call me without texting me first. And he's like, okay, what's up? And I was like, because my phone only rings when it's an emergency. Okay, and so when my phone rings, my autonomic nervous system goes into emergency mode.
Yep.
Okay, so if you text me first, hey man, you got 2 minutes, I'll call you back when I can. But when my phone rings, it's an emergency. So cooking dinner one night, I'm in the kitchen with my wife, my phone rings, and it's one of our teammates in the field, and they're like, hey boss, we got this going on, we need backup. And I rarely operate in the field. Frankly, they're way better at it than I am, and I'm also a known entity.
Yeah.
There's people come up to me at the gas pump. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you Bear from the internet? Can I get a picture with you, honey?"
No, I'm not.
Get out of the
just
truck.
Look like him.
You know how many times I've tried that line?
It doesn't work.
They're like, "You are
it's
Bear."
It's the voice that gives it
Yeah,
away.
I'm gonna start speaking in Chinese.
Or it's squeakier.
No, so sorry, me totally not Bear from internet. My name is Dog. I am Dog from not internet.
Also going to
Thank
give
you so much.
away.
But my phone rings, and it's one of our teammates, and they're like, "Boss, we need you." I'm like, "What do we got?" And they said, 3-year-old. I was like, fuck. Okay. I looked at my wife. I was like, I gotta go. She's like, what's up? I said, 3-year-old. She's like, okay. Kiss on the cheek. She goes, when do you think you'll be home? I was like, I don't know. Anywhere between 3 hours and a week. I'll text you when I can. I gotta go. So, it's just, I mean, this was not yesterday, and it still hits me like it's yesterday. Because somebody's got to do something about the pieces of shit that will harm a 3-year-old. Just has to. In any event, calebhouse.org. If the spirit convicts you, calebhouse.org. And links to the Amazon thing are in the description. Our brains have evolved to socialize, but max out at about 150 friends. Coming from the science department at the Wall Street Journal.
Taking a hard left turn back to the internet.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to. You know what? Wall Street Journal.
You know what? We know more about this than they do anyway.
Yeah.
Listen, it's okay to be an introvert. You can live under a rock if you want to, as long as you come out every once in a while.
Well, I wanted to bring this into this prepping for World War III conversation.
Yeah.
Dunbar's number. Have you heard that before? Okay.
From you.
Oh, tell the people Dunbar's number.
Isn't it 150?
It is.
That's the number of like names and maintainable acquaintance style relationships you can handle. Like your brain just kind of is done after that.
Yeah, you can like keep track of your kid is named this and you do this for work and your interests are this for about 150 people.
Which I think is pushing it for me. I'm like 75, really tops.
Hey, it's Simmerwell Broth. What's up, bro?
I know, I love him.
Hopefully you guys watched the video with AJ yesterday.
And if you didn't, go do it.
100%.
because you need food. World War III.
For 150 people,
Yeah.
but no more than.
No.
AJ's on the other side going,
AJ, don't worry. There's only 1,100 people on this live stream
Dude,
that all need food for their 150
what
friends.
is it, Simmerwell?
Simmerwell.com. Go to Simmerwell.com.
Simmerwell.com.
They've got a live chat function.
Oh my gosh, Bear, all you do is shill. Yeah, for
Yeah.
our people. That's
we shill
it.
for good people.
When was the
Listen,
last time you saw a Jackery ad from me?
Yeah, well, they don't.
Or anything from
They
Temu
don't
or Shine?
drop bone
or
broth
like,
off in my kitchen. So
Yeah, Simmerwell. You know what? I'm just grabbing it.
wait until you see the Lissa launch coming to Simmerwell shortly.
What's
'Cause
up,
I'm
Frank the
very
Tank?
excited.
So there's your link for Simmerwell.
You can get freeze-dried bone broth, which is amazing for bug-out kits.
Mm-hmm.
And he's rolling meals. And he's rolling carb-free meals for preppers who already have rice in buckets.
And clean
Clean, yes.
for all my Leviticus 11 folks out there.
All the cleans.
So
Go order your stuff.
our brains evolved to socialize, but maxed out at about 150 friends.
Unless you're Nostradamus, in which case it's 2.
Yeah. So I was really frustrated Monday afternoon and even yesterday because I was exhausted. And I've been since middle of last week kind of sick. Not like dying sick, but just like kind of sick.
Like last Wednesday, though.
Yeah. No, it's probably you. I think it's Wednesdays is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I have rabies.
Don't bite me. What's up, Red Flyer Media? But Monday afternoon, Monday is High Holy Day, first day of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, and our tribe has assembled, as is typical, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful event, and every single time, I'm like, there's people here I don't know. Who's that person? Who's that person?
There's so many people.
And I had been cooking a sheep since 6 a.m., and it got hot in the afternoon, and it's now like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's time to eat. And I looked at some of the brothers there, and I was like, yo, you take this from me. Mm-hmm. You cut up the sheep. You serve the people. Dudley, you yell at people. Like, I just got to sit. I was just spent. And then there was a lady. I was sitting near Pastor Joe, talking to him about a lot of the stuff that I'm talking to you guys about this morning. And there's a lady sitting there, and I hear her say, I just need to get baptized. And I looked at her, I said, when? And she goes, right now? And just starts crying. I was like, oh, I'm up.
Here we go.
I'm up.
I saw
And-
you walk back from your tent in your American flag shorts, and I'm like, oh, it's time to get in the water.
Yeah.
It's almost as much an indicator as Kelt's ducky shorts. His is more, though.
Well, Sister Cindy, because this lady was like, I don't have any clothes. And Cindy's like, come with me.
We
I
have clothes.
We'll get clothes. And it was beautiful. And then there was another young brother that, so we always ask, is there anyone else? And there is, typically, but they're not ready to say it. And so we asked 3 times, in the mouths of 2 or 3 let a thing be established, right?
Yep.
And the second time, I said, there is, but you're not ready yet. Come see me afterwards. Mm-hmm. And so most of the people left, and then this young brother came up to me and said, I'm ready. And I was like, yep.
Yeah.
Because
Sometimes it's not a crowd thing.
I agree. I agree with that.
And I'm one of those people that really dislikes having cameras pointed at me, and you can't stop that all the time when there's a group of people.
And so, but it's weird because when I'm baptizing, I don't see people with my people eyes.
Yeah.
I see people with my spirit eyes, and certain people get like spotlights on them, like beams of light on them. Mm-hmm. I'm like, got it. That guy, that girl, him. Okay, tracking. And so anyway, there was a second baptism, and it was beautiful. And by the end of that, I was just so wiped. And why I was frustrated was like, I'm surrounded by people that I love, that I want to hang out with. It started with my family first, and then all these other people that I love. And I got nothing. I am so spent.
You came and sat in the corner with me.
Yeah.
Because that's where I always am.
And I actually saw you Sunday, and you were like, "How you doing?" I was like, I'm still a little sick. I think I'm going to tell everybody to stay away from me for about 8 days, which is how long Sukkot is. So all that to say, 150, like that's about the max size group that you can have or should have, which I know for some people, you're like, I can't find anyone to hang out with. Listen, your vibe attracts your tribe. Pray over it. Do stuff, you'll find somebody else, and then 2, then 3, and then 9, and then 22, and then 63, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many of us, right?
And you might have to go somewhere else from where you are, and you might need to go to an event halfway across the country to meet someone who lives 2 miles away. You got to take some risks.
Yeah, that's happened. How many times has that happened?
I met you in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Neither of us live in Tennessee.
Yeah, that is correct. So, all that to say, organizing groups, we need, when it comes to preparedness and prepping for the coming unpleasantness, as Wrangler Star likes to call it, which I love that term. We need people, and that goes back to the talk that I gave on Patreon, it's posted yesterday, from Kentucky Sustainable Living, which is not anywhere near my house, which was a prepper meetup that I went to.
It's like 9 hours?
Yeah, 9-10 hours to get over there. Baptized for 3 hours there. That was cool. In any event, you're going to need people, because one person cannot produce enough calories to feed themselves and pull security at the same time, let alone everything else.
Yep.
Red Dirt, bless you. Thank you for the super chat. Get people as much as you can. I feel, brothers and sisters, that our time is growing short to do the things that we need to do. Now, just because something's possible and plausible doesn't mean that it will occur.
Nope.
And this is not a fear-mongering channel, comma, the indicators have caused me to reassess my preps and my plans. And I would be doing you a disservice if I did not encourage you to do the same. So I just want to give you guys and girls that. Shifting gears again. Travel. Delays spread to major airports across the country as the government shutdown impacts travelers. This was done. This is not the first time that this has happened.
No,
you brought this one
I actually
up.
think that there was a partner cyber attack with the situation that's not being talked about because of the order in which airports were hit and which airports were hit and the magnitude of the grounding that happened.
I agree with that, because I want to show you this. For everybody who's watching, I know most people consume this passively, but on the screen share, I just put into Google News 0 day. Okay, so 0 day is a cyber exploit that has 0 days of protection against it. In other words, nothing exists to counteract this cyber attack, this exploit. Okay, so just putting in 0 day into Google News, I'll just read you headlines. From 3 days ago, Clop ransomware hits Oracle customers via 0 day flaw. 19 hours ago, Clop exploited Oracle 0 day for data theft since early August. 2 days ago, Clop hackers caught exploiting Oracle 0 day bug to steal executives' personal data. 2 days ago, Zimbra 0 day exploited to target Brazilian military via malicious ICS files. 2 days ago, Zimbra users targeted in 0 day exploit using iCalendar attachments. Yesterday, Cisco ASA FTD 0 day vulnerability exploited for authentication bypass. 20 hours ago, Oracle 0 day and more exploited by ransomware group. 2 days ago, Clop exploits Oracle e-business suite 0 day and data theft extortion campaign. 2 days ago, Oracle 0 day defect amplifies panic over Clop's data theft attack spree. 29 minutes ago, Clop mass exploiting 0 day vulnerability in Oracle e-business suite. Cyber attackers exploit Zimbra, Oracle BitLocker bypass. Exploitation of Oracle EBS 0 day started 2 months ago. 5 hours ago. 4 hours ago, CISA, Cyber Information Security Agency, warns of Zimbra Collaboration Suite 0 day exploit and active attacks. On and on. 2 days, 7 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, 19 hours, 6 hours, 17 hours, 2 days, 3 days, 6 days, yesterday, 13 hours ago. Okay. Hopefully you get the point. I have been talking about, in my content here lately, significant and ongoing zero-day exploits. The bad guys have fidelity on, in some cases, complete fidelity on all, I need you to hear me on this, all computer systems. All of them. What do you mean by all of them? If I get more specific, I'm going to start betraying confidences. So all of them. Okay? All of them. Which all? All of them. Think worst case scenario, most dangerous course of action. All of them. Back to flight delays. Lissa from Not the Internet. Air traffic controllers. You wanted to talk about this.
No, you were just asking for headlines.
Oh.
This is an interesting one. Don't fly on airplanes if you actually have somewhere that you have to be in a reasonable amount of time, because then this is going to happen. This is why I drive everywhere. Also, I'm from the Midwest, so a 14-hour drive is like, whatever. We're just going to do that.
That's normal.
Why would I fly 3 hours when I can drive 14 of them?
Yeah, and take all my stuff with me.
Well, and de-escalate my brain on the way. Windshield time is really good wind down. Windshield time is really good for conversations. If you have someone you really need to get to know, stick them in the shotgun seat and go on a road trip. Like, go to work together. Go do something. Because people talk to each other a lot more openly when they don't have to face each other. The ability to sit shoulder to shoulder as opposed to toe to toe takes the potential threat out, and it makes vulnerable conversation a lot better. So I'm all for driving. Also, airports are scary and full of people.
They're also where large groups of people congregate, which makes them wonderful targets.
Yes.
And they're also considered critical infrastructure, which makes them wonderful targets. They're also highly automated and computerized, which makes them wonderful targets. So the big they are rolling out this talking point now of air traffic controllers in an attempt to break the government shutdown, which has been used in the past successfully to break government shutdowns. I don't think that's going to happen at this point because, and I said this previously, it's in Trump's best interest that the government shuts down because what is this ad?
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of stuff that Trump can do with the government shutdown that he can't do when the government's not shut down. So just keep that on your radars. I think that's the show for today. Let's briefly talk about grindstoneministries.com.
Storm season's coming.
Yes, it is. It ain't going to get any better, any easier. And Grindstone's another one of our 501c3s. It's 100% privately funded. We help people who didn't know how they were going to buy groceries last week and now don't have a house this week, who have lost everything in these tornadoes, floods, fires, and hurricanes. And if you want to deploy with Grindstone Ministries to come to site and do this kind of stuff, go to grindstoneministries.com. There's a link in the chat. You can follow that. If you are led by the Spirit to support Grindstone, Grindstone needs every penny it can get as well, because again, we're privately funded, and this is the kind of work that we do. If your love language is chainsaws and diesel fuel, we got you.
Or feeding people and praying with people.
I was going there as well. There's, I believe it's either 11 or 13 different MOSs, if you will, specialties that Kyle, the executive director of Grindstone, has identified. So there's 11 separate groups of people that are required in order to be able to make this stuff on the ground happen.
Yeah. And
so saw operators, equipment operators, drivers, very important. But logistics personnel, I love this. So this is Bobby here, right? And just before, like the day before, I had taught a class on sketchy leaning trees. how to fell sketchy trees. And then the next day, Bobby, who's in his early 70s and is a badass, comes out here with that saw and does this with this tree. And it's the little fist bump at the end that I just love. Boom. I love that, right?
You got his sketchy tree.
And so, grindstone, good works, be in the hands and feet of the Most High, loving on people when they've lost everything. And if you want to buy some slabs out of some of these trees, email us, because we've got slabs out of these trees as well. It's another way the ministry supports itself. So you can visit grindstoneministries.com. And if you want to volunteer, you can sign up to volunteer. If you want to donate, you can do that. Lastly, but certainly not leastly, October 21st, 13 days away, is Refuge's 5-year birthday.
Woo.
And we're having a birthday party. Woo. And as part of that birthday party, you can go to refugemedical.com and you could win the birthday present, which is super cool. What's crazy is how far behind the stream is right now.
But the chat is not.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
So you can go to refugemedical.com and you can get a piece of birthday cake for $5. And each piece of birthday cake that you get is a chance to win the birthday present. So if you buy a piece of cake, you get one chance. If you buy 100 pieces of cake, you get 100 chances.
They will not send you actual cake.
We will not send you actual cake.
You
Sorry.
could go get cake and we could all eat cake on the 21st.
But the value of the birthday present will meet the value of the number of pieces of cake that have been sold.
Seems reasonable.
It seems very reasonable. Valued over $2,000 in prizes from Refuge and friends.
Big box.
Yep. And then, of course, we got all the other stuff that you need. American-made, guaranteed forever first aid kits, the best on the market, refills, and, if you just need components and supplies, if you got a bag you want to put stuff into, we've got all that stuff here. If you don't have a bag, we have bag-only options as well. And then, individual components, we've got all that from all the reputable manufacturers. This stuff is all out here. This is all stuff that we use in the field that we've tested.
Yep. There's some new products.
Yep. All kinds of good stuff on there. And
we had a little blood typing activity last week
Mm-hmm.
on our property. They have blood typing kits. It was actually super fun. Like, if your kids are really into science, like your middle and high schoolers, I would totally get that and just blood type everybody at home, because it was so fun to watch the different way that it changed color and shape, and then had to follow the instructions. I totally felt like I was back in school. It was so fun.
On the training tab at Refuge, we've got a whole series of classes coming up. So if you are law enforcement, and I would add in church security.
Yes.
If you need stuff or want to reach out, you can click this tab here, contact us, and we will set up a time to chat. If you're not, we've got Evan from Radio Made Easy coming back. We have a whole series of classes with Evan.
He's got 4 days in April.
And we have Refuge Defender Series, which is this is the first public class for church security that I've made available. The reason for that is the same reason I don't make law enforcement training available publicly. It's because I don't want bad guys to know how we train cops. Yep. Because if you know what the cops are going to do, then you can mitigate that, come up with a workaround, and it's not good.
And this is not them limiting training to the public at all. You're getting the same medical, stress inoculation, trial by fire training. It's just not structured the same way.
And so Refuge Defender Security Team Training, we've got that class in the store as well. And then I wanted to highlight our Responder Series right here. And this class is coming up in October 26th and 27th here in Spire, Oklahoma. Now, I know a lot of people say, I'm not anywhere near Spiro, Oklahoma. I know. Let me give you an idea of the quality of training and what people are willing to invest in that quality of training. First of all, I've had dozens of military cool guys come and take our little class in Little Spiro, Oklahoma, and say, this is the best civilian class I've ever been to. This exceeds a lot of the military training that I've taken. Okay, I've had hundreds of Army CLS Combat Lifesaver, so that's like a tier 2 role in TCCC, take our class, our civilian class, and they're like, this shit's amazing. This is way better than what I got in the Army. Okay. We have had people from Alaska and Canada and Ecuador and Brazil and Germany and Eastern Europe and Africa all travel to Spiro, Oklahoma to get training. We have had people come to class on their honeymoons. Mm-hmm. We've had people drive down from Maine to Oklahoma.
It's a haul.
There are four airports within 4 hours of where I'm sitting. Mm-hmm. There are 2 airports within 2 hours of where I'm sitting. There's 1 airport within 45 minutes of where I'm sitting. Mm-hmm. Now, we just talked about flying. But if you want to fly, you can.
Don't bring your shears. They'll take them from you.
There are places to stay in the area over in Fort Smith or here in LaFleur County, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. You can camp in one of the nearby. It's doable is my point.
Yes.
So the morning of October 26th, you can buy the Responder 1 class, and that's the morning portion, which is lecture and practical application. If you want to be there all day on the 26th, you can buy the Responder 2 class, which is the morning of and afternoon of day 1. So it's lecture, practical application, and intro to scenario-based training. If you want the whole Shazam, all day October 26th and all day October 27th, you want to buy the Responder 3, which is lecture, practical application, intro to scenario-based training, and a full day of scenario-based training. Force on force, PT, defensive tactics, mass casualty events, triage, the whole 9. That's coming up pretty quick here. There are some seats left for that. So I strongly recommend this Responder 3 right here on the training tab at Refuge Medical. If you have any questions, call the store, shoot us an email, use the chat function. There's a live chat button right here on the store. If we can help you in any way, we will. There are not other... There's lots of people that... I mean, I just had a question in the chat last night. Guy wrote in, he was like, so he literally said, I took a free 5-minute stop the bleed class. Is there ever an incident where with a critical bleed, we would try to wound pack first and then go to tourniquets on the extremities? No. Not on the extremities, not with a critical bleed, no.
Just make it stop.
You apply a tourniquet, and then if we need to do a tourniquet conversion, either because our CASEVAC time is going to exceed 2 hours or because we didn't need a tourniquet in the first place, then we do a tourniquet conversion where we wound pack without the threat of imminent death, release the tourniquet, yada, yada, yada. We teach that. Okay, and that's just like a small part of a free 5-minute stop the bleed class. No, 2 days, homie. You spend 2 days with us, so you have the physical, visceral, the tactile, you have the reps and sets, you can do it without thinking about it. I know it's an investment, but as the world continues to spiral out of control, I need you to be equipped for the preservation of life. And it's not simply having the equipment, it's knowing how to use it as well. So if you just look at the screen, there's not another class that looks like this, okay? Now, we meter the physicality to each individual student. I've had students from 7 years old to 87 years old in class, okay? And so if you're not a PT stud, that's fine. You fight with what you brought. I need you to understand fully what you brought. If you are a PT stud, great. You fight with what you brought.
They're going to torture you.
You're going to learn precisely what it is that you brought to the fight, okay? So, come to class, reach out. Responder 3, October 26th, 27th. Strongly recommend that. And yeah, that's the show. That's the show for today. You got anything you want to add?
Nope. Go do the things.
Me either.
Audit your stuff. Be the light. Don't live in fear. It's a waste of time.
It really is.
You're not prepping for the end of the world. You're prepping to maintain normalcy for the people that you love. And that maybe means World War III, but that realistically means that someone loses their job, or someone gets hurt, or life takes a weird turn, or you have to provide care for a parent or grandparent, or you have to move across the country, or you get hit by a tornado. We're prepping for most likely, and then we have automatically covered the rest of this. And there's no point in freaking out about it, because that benefits you zero, and it makes everything harder.
Agreed.
That's all I have to say.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Remember Caleb House and Grindstone and Refuge in your prayers, please. And if you are having a Feast of Tabernacles, Chag Sameach Sukkot. And share the show, please, with those that you love. And we will see y'all when we see y'all.